It's time now for our business update. I'm joined by Yuka Royer in the studio. Good morning, Yuka.
Good morning, Dilane.
You're starting out with some positive news for the Japanese economy.
That's right. Japan's GDP in the second quarter grew at the fastest pace in more than 2 years at an annualized rate of 4%. That's far above expectations of around 2.5%. Consumer spending and capital expenditure both rose at a faster pace, indicating stronger domestic demand. The latest figures show that Japan's economy grew for 6 straight quarters. The last time this has happened was more than 10 years ago, back in 2005 to 2006. Now, Japan's Nikkei dipped despite the positive GDP data because of a stronger yen as investors moved away from the US dollar into the Japanese currency, which is considered a safe bet in times of turmoil. This as worries over North Korea linger. European markets, though, opened a short while ago. London's FTSE and Paris's CAC 40 up a fraction of a percentage point, while Germany's DAX trading just below the flat line. Shares of food giant Danone were up 2% at the open, as US media reported it could be the target for a foreign takeover. The yen is not the only currency people are buying. The price of Bitcoin has climbed to over $4,000 for the first time since the virtual currency was created in 2009. It has more than doubled in 1 month. The rise has been particularly fast since the start of August, after the currency split and created a new cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Cash.
Now, Yuka, Donald Trump is preparing to launch his first direct trade attack on China later today. What's this about?
The US president is expected to sign a presidential memorandum asking his chief trade advisor to investigate Beijing's intellectual property practices. The step could lead to tariffs and other restrictions on Chinese imports if Washington decides to take a tough new approach to what it considers unfair trade practices. And that may eventually start a trade war between the world's 2 biggest economies. The US administration, though, is trying to appease China ahead of this possible move amid rising tensions over North Korea's nuclear program. Here's what Donald Trump's national security advisor said on Sunday.
Have recognized really 3 fundamental things. The first is, this isn't just a U.S. problem. This is a world problem. The second is that China has real influence to be able to cope with this. And the third, and this is what's most important, that the goal, the common goal that we have to pursue is denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
Now, Yuka, after Sunday's debut performance with Paris Saint-Germain, Neymar's record transfer of 222 million euros may seem somewhat less insane, we should say.
And there are other players waiting to make a very expensive switch as well. But some are worried the trend may create a speculative bubble which could burst one day. Yena Lee has the story.
Neymar's €222 million transfer deal broke the world record, but it hasn't stopped others from trying to follow suit. PSG is reportedly willing to pay €180 million for 18-year-old Kylian Mbappe. Barcelona could pay $90 million for Dortmund's Ousmane Dembélé. Club presidents are worried about these astronomical sums.
I started doing business right around the dot-com bubble. I saw the damage it did. I hope what's happening right now in front of our eyes isn't a speculative bubble. If it is, it would, by definition, burst at some point.
The price tag of European football stars has soared in the past 30 years. From €19 million for the legendary Diego Maradona to Neymar's 222. As transfer fees rise, so have fees for television rights. The rise in European broadcast fees is expected to hit 4.5% in 2 seasons' time for Champions League matches aired in the UK. A critical source of income for clubs, but a risky strategy according to some analysts.
Broadcasting fees could very well drop. Sponsors could one day pull their money out. Then clubs wouldn't be able to outcompete each other. If we have a transfer market that can function solely on transfer fees, the whole system could totally collapse.
To limit the risks, clubs are diversifying their sources of income, looking towards new markets in Asia and picking stars like Neymar, who has not only sporting talent, but a huge commercial potential.
Yuka, thank you very much for the business. Yuka Royer there.